Good morning, everybody. How you doing? I am Shadows.
I guess I'm
And
chaos.
you would be. I mean, maybe not. Sorry.
Oh,
We were I planned on going a few minutes early, but going live a few minutes early, but we got set talking about football.
yeah, we got to talking about yesterday's games.
As we do. How is everybody? Hope all is well with you out there.
So I just want to say a quick welcome, if he's still here, to
He said he
Andy
was.
Gambino.
Yes,
New,
welcome, welcome.
yep, new to the channel today. Good morning, Terry, Mo, Andy. Is Nicole here?
I haven't
Amora.
seen Nicole. Both Terrys.
Yes, both
Hello,
Terrys.
Mo. Hello, Just Chaos.
Hello, Shadows.
Hello, Freaky Geek.
Yes, hello, Freaky Geek. Uh-oh,
D
we're not.
Live D Live's not working?
Obviously
There's
not.
Andy. There's the other Andy.
Yep, there he is.
Hey, Sophie.
How you doing, Sophie?
Freaky Geek. D Live's not up?
Obviously not.
Oh, no, there we go. He said there you is. It should be all the little thingy mabobs should be working now.
Oh no.
Hello, Amora. How are you? There's
There's
Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah, that's what it is, Freaky. You were too excited. You were like, it's Monday.
That's the day you should lay back for a few more minutes. Thank you, Amora.
Thank you, Amora, for the ice cream. Thank you, thank you. Aw, Soapy, I'm sorry, hon. Well, hopefully you feel better soon. That one always seems to come in a little bit later.
Stay strong, Sophie.
Well, they were working. Freaky broke them again.
That's all right, Nicole. We were just chit chatting away, and I was like, I think we can start now.
I know we were just sitting there talking about football, and then all of a sudden he's like, "You might want to go live now." I'm like, "Oh, it's 10."
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Nicole,
Nicole.
for the ice cream. Thank you, thank you.
Is that a happy chicken dance? What is that?
Don't even get that song stuck in my head. I swear to God.
Howdy, howdy. Hey, Ryan, what's going on?
Hey, Ryan. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. It's gloomy here today. It's
Well, it's still snowing.
snowing, and
Snow,
yeah, but it's
snow slash
gloomy.
rain mix.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is
It's
36 degrees out.
it is. It's the only place I swear to God that it gets warmer as it snows.
Congratulations, Sophie.
Oh, that's awesome, Sophie. That is awesome. Hey, easily distracted. Welcome, welcome.
What's going on, Distracted?
No, not sleet. It's not
Not,
like East Coast.
yeah,
Like
not
there's
quite
you
sleep.
know you know how like East Coast when it's or Middle East. Yeah, that too. Um
I don't think it snows over
Midwest.
there too often.
Midwest, how when it's snow and rain mixed together, it becomes sleet, right? Here, no, it's separate here. It's like you get snow and rain and they fall side by side and it's weird.
Yep.
It's very, very weird.
Sophie's business of being a hobbit
Hey,
is
there you
important.
go. I like that.
Like you were told when you were younger. When you grow up, you can be anything you want to be.
That's there you go. That's right. That's right. Oh, so today's Monday. It's a crazy day yesterday. I didn't get my normal naps in. Well, I did, only later. We were supposed to have date night last night. I
Yeah.
went to bed. It was a long day. It was a very long process of the day. Oh, easily distracted. Got 5 inches. How much have we had? I
Hey,
haven't
you
even
know,
checked.
TMI. TMI.
Smart ass.
I could be whatever I wanted when I grew up. Problem is, I never grew up.
Or there's that.
I don't know. Actually, since yesterday, since it started snowing, I'd say we probably got about 11, 12 inches.
Yeah.
Yes, easily. I know Tampa Bay lost. Thank you. I seen parts of the game, anyways.
I know. Poor Eddie. His game was on first. Mine was on second.
Now, mind
And
you, I'm at work. I work in a liquor store. All right.
yeah.
But I have an app on my phone that I can pull the football game up, and I was able to watch. But during the Buccaneers game, fucking everybody kept coming in to get alcohol. Everybody kept coming. The Buccaneers game ended, the Bills game started, and I got to see 3/4 of that fucking game without even being bothered once. Like, what the fuck?
It was a big day yesterday, Amora. It was a big day with sports, at least to us. Both our teams were playing.
Both got eliminated.
Yeah. But
Both play like hell. They play crazy games to play comeback.
yeah, they did. It was crazy. Crazy. I cried happy tears. I cried sad tears. I cried
Sad
happy tears
tears.
again. Then sad tears.
Easily says they don't close schools until they get 10 to 12 inches. Here, they don't close schools until they get about 20 feet.
Pretty much.
That's not a joke.
Oh, Nicole, that's a bad day. She said I had no electricity this morning for 5 hours. That means no coffee. Oh, Lord. That's
Yeah,
why, like the other day when we had that brownout, I sat there and I was like, I was craving coffee, and I'm like, the lights twitched, and I was like, oh hell no, I'm getting this in before before it goes out.
Brady's talking about possibly retiring.
As always,
Well, I think he just wanted to go for that other ring.
Andy. Nicole was a bod mood bitch till late. LOL. Hey, no coffee. Hey Terry.
Welcome, Andy. I
Oh, thank you, Andy.
hope you hang
Thank you
out.
so much. I appreciate that. Or we appreciate that.
And just so you know, Andy, this isn't really the show. This is just us how we get started.
Yeah. We're
Welcome,
gonna be
Terry
talking.
Brown.
What is going on? Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
All right. So, what are we talking about today?
All right, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Welcome to the Shadows of the Moon podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in and listening and hanging with us live. Today is Monday Musings, and of course, you know what that means. Paranormal talk and the unexplained. As always, I'd like to say a huge thank you to my supporters for all that you do. You guys are simply the best. Thank you for watching on YouTube, my DLive listeners, my Facebook, my Twitch, Twitter, everyone listening to the podcasts as well. I can't thank you enough. It means the world to us. It really does. And thank you, of course, everyone who has donated. Please remember that all your donations go back into the show to buy materials, books, and bring you the best show that I can. And if you would like to support the show, you can go over to tippystream.com/Shadows of the Moon or anchor.fm Shadows of the Moon Shadows of the Moon 1/support. And of course, buymeacopy.com/shadows. Of course, all the links are in the show notes or at shadowsofthemoon.net. Today, we're talking about psychic imprints. Like, can they, I guess, mess with an investigation? Understanding the different causes of orbs. We're going to be talking about orbs. And we're also going to talk about the time Mark Twain wrote a new novel from beyond the grave. The Strange Tale of the Cursed Village of Voices, and the true story of the Watska Wander. Now, That's a really cool story, and I hope you stick around to hear it.
Hi, kitten.
And of course, if you have a story that you would like to tell, an experience, big or small, head on over to shadowsofthemoon.net/podcast, where you can either send me a voicemail or an email, and we'll get you up on the show. If you want to remain anonymous, that's cool too. I can read your show on or the story on the air. It's all up to you. Hey, kitten, how you doing, hon? All right.
Hello, Tia Richards, watching from Facebook.
Hello, Tia. Welcome, welcome. Yay, my restream bot for Facebook is finally working. I'm telling you, we have a lot of problems with that one. So I'm glad it's working, definitely. All right, so our first story is let's see, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about
Oh, I'm sorry, Tia. Today we're not doing readings.
no, that's usually on Tuesdays, and that's hold off for a couple weeks because my tarot cards are packed. But
What'd you
that's
do?
usually Tuesdays, Tarot Tuesdays,
Did
coffee
you
and
walk
cards.
downstairs and wiggle your nose or something?
Maybe. Hey, Lady Blind Wolf.
Hey, Lady Blind Wolf.
So let's start off with the strange tale of the cursed village of voices. Hello, Mo. You're very welcome, Tia. So it's some creepy old abandoned villages really seem to attract them to odd tales. In 1778, two English colonists by the names of Johann or Jonathan Randall Esquire and Obadiah Higbottom evacuated their homes on the coast of Cranston, Rhode Island, in anticipation of a British attack during the Battle of Rhode Island of 1778, and settled on land in Pomfret, Connecticut, where they would start a company called the Higginbottom Linen Wheels, which supplied the surrounding area with flax spinning. This would become the foundation of the rather humble village of Barahak, a Welsh term loosely translated as the breaking of bread. I really like that. That's beautiful. So it was a modest settlement with just a few homes and farms, slave quarters, a community graveyard, a water wheel power textile mill, and not much else, basically. It was more of a collection of a few homesteads that the definition was of a true village. The people here leading a simple, quiet life. However, dark days were ahead for this peaceful hamlet. It would go to gain a reputation of a deeply haunted, possibly even cursed place. Are you well, Shandy? Look at that. See, I knew. After the death of its founding families, the mill began to fall into disrepair. Yeah, let's try that again. Fall into disrepair, and the community withered away until by sometime after the Civil War it was completely abandoned to become a feral, weed choked collection of ruins, ripe for the spooky stories. Yet,
TTVP.
who came in?
Vale.
Oh, hey, Val. It's slower on my side today. My Chrome is acting up a little bit, so I'm trying to keep everything together so it don't crash on me. Hello, Val. Hello, Mo. So yet tales of the supernatural encounters in the Barahak were doing the rounds long before it became a dead husk. It seems to have started in the late 18th century with the whispered rumors among the slaves on the property that there were shadow figures lurking about the area, as well as gremlin-like creatures around the size of children and a ghostly baby. However, the tales really picked up after the abandonment of the settlement. With the people gone and nature encroaching into the reclaim of the land, all manner of eerie stories began to pop up about decaying remnants of this creepy place. People snooping around the property would come back with stories of shadowy apparitions, the ghost of a bearded man, and a spirit of a very small child, as well as orbs and strange streaks of lights dancing over the cemeteries. But the most strange streaks, or both, yeah, the most, it's Monday, guys, you know how it goes.
No.
But the most persistent phenomenon is all the damn noise. Witnesses all the way to the present have described hearing disembodied talking, laughing, crying, screaming. So basically, you name it, it's there. The sounds of wagon wheels scraping over the earth, the sounds of old mill creaking and turning, and the farm animals, as well as anomalous sounds that come out of nowhere. On occasion, the ruins allegedly come to life with all manner of noises that makes it seem almost if it's still living, almost like it's a thriving village. The sounds of normal life echoing over the dead ruins and weeds, to the point that it has been nicknamed the Village of Voices. Now, in 1927, Odell Shepard, a professor at Harvard and Radcliffe College, took a look at this forsaken place and he wrote of it. He said, "Here they had their houses, represented today by a few gaping cellar holes out of which tall trees were growing. But here is the Village of Voices. For the place is peopled still, although there is no habitation. Yet there is always a hum and stir of human life. They hear the laughter of children at play. They hear the voices of mothers who have been dust calling their children into their homes that are just now mere holes in the earth. They hear snatches of song and a rumble of wagon wheels along the old road. It is as though sounds were able in this place to get around that incompressible corner to pierce the mysterious soundproof wall that we call time." Of course, such stories have drawn the attention of ghost hunters since way back when, and some of these expeditions stand out particularly odd. In August and October of 1971, paranormal researcher Paul and Eno carried out an investigation of the property and would not come away disappointed. Eno's book, Face the Window, would say this of the investigation. They made their way to the village. They were immediately struck with several strange phenomena. They felt an overwhelming sense of depression in the area. They heard the constant barking of dogs, the lowing of cows, and the occasional human voice. And they noticed the complete absence of birds, which was rare for that time of year. That's when it starts getting freaky, like when everything's silent. Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
well, yeah. I mean, we talked about that when we were watching them Randonautica videos, and you hear all them crickets, and it's like, God damn, they're loud. But you bring up the point too. If they go quiet, something ain't right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So he said after a 2.25 hour of exploration, the group left and came back at 7:15 that night. As they set up their recording equipment, they individually began to hear voices coming from the brook, which ran through the village. The voices were of laughter, the laughter of children. The team returned again October 30th and 31st with the new team members to assure themselves that what they heard wasn't a group delusion. It turned out to be a very eventful evening. At dusk, the group lost its way while walking towards the burying ground. They all knew the way, but not one of them could find it. Then they turned to find one of their new team members frozen in place. He couldn't move forward and to the left. He couldn't move forward and to the left and was sweating and breathing shallowly. All of the members of the teams tried to move him, but he would only move towards the right and backwards. That's weird,
It's like a fucking defective chess piece.
right? And what they later would learn was away from the cemetery. So apparently the cemetery was forward and to the left, and he just couldn't move towards that way. Can you imagine? Oh my God, I'd be freaked out. Other paranormal investigators since have frequently reported the same sort of phenomenon, and the ruins of Barahak have attained an almost legendary status in the area of the place with it's very active with paranormal activity. Unfortunately, for those willing to brave this place, the ruins eventually became private property and were closed to the public. Of course, dotted with a no trespassing sign to keep all the would be ghost hunters and curiosity seekers out. Since no one can really get access to the site now, it's hard to say what could be going on here, and we are left to wonder why this place should attract so many stories. Is it just urban legend, or is it something more? One
Well,
idea that stems from this land being cursed by the native Nipmuc people, who originally held this land before being booted out by white settlers. Another is that the place is sort of a thin spot between alternative realities, and that what we're seeing or what is being seen and heard is what is happening in a parallel dimension in other places in time. Still, other ideas call this a time slip, or the case of residual hauntings, or in which events from the past are somehow engraved into place. So, what do you guys think it is? All of the above?
well, yeah, but as you kept reading there, you said stories accumulated. Of course, yeah, stories. I mean, what's a story? Just somebody's vivid imagination.
Well, no, encounters. They're not saying stories, but encounters.
Well, that's what
People
you said.
actually, huh?
That's what you said, and then it was either stories or folklores. With both of them are basically the same thing. They go, each one has a little bit of truth, but most of it is a vivid imagination of if it's real or not.
Well, no, I think the ghost hunters that were right is said story because they actually wrote a book. He wrote a book about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you didn't say that part.
I did, but you just didn't hear.
No, you didn't.
It doesn't say Andy. I think the ghost hunters definitely knew the stories before investigating. I'm pretty sure,
And
but it was
and
the people that weren't there investigating that got weirded out by the noises. I think that's what sparked. Like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here?
that would be shadows there, Terry. Monday, not enough coffee. Lady Blind
I'm
Wolf's
getting
trying.
there. I'm getting there.
Lady Blind Wolf's trying to convince another channel. His name's Ed too. I think it's Renegade, but him and his wife to go to a historical society. Hey, morbid.
Hey, sweetly morbid bear. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I think you don't know because when you as a paranormal investigator, which is I'm not. I'm more of a debunker than I am trying to investigate. I want to find out if it's faked. But when you can get 3, 4, 5 investigating teams, and let's say they'll come in one after another into the same building, into the same rooms, and get completely different fucking feeds.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I do like the idea that the investigative team went back with a different team just to see if. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Is it
That's
gonna
very cool.
could be argued that the end of the world flood myths from around my shit fucking just jumped way too fucking fast. Hold on here. There it is. Myths from around the world are just stories uh, acceptable to science, yet evidence exists that they are more likely memories carried through time verbally. Well, I don't know because if you think about it, I do believe in the great floods that had happened. How else did Atlantis just fucking disappear underwater? But
So do
it's
you think this is okay? Say it's real. It's happening, right? I mean, I'd love to talk to the people that own the private property now to see if they have experience or anything like that. I mean, they might just be like, you know what, don't want to deal with it. Don't want to deal with people. Um, hey Lynn, how are you doing, hon?
how you
Um,
doing, Lynn?
but say it's true. Do you think it is an imprint, a residual haunting? Do you think it's like just, I mean, because they're hearing just daily folk life, you know what I mean?
I think it could be a mix of all of them. Actually,
Right.
I don't think it has to be classified down to one.
True. That is true. I thought it was an interesting story.
Well, I mean, it is. You laughing at? Remember, I have hairy feet. I don't need socks.
No, no, that's funny too, though. I was Monster Radio. Ryan, Atlantis disappeared because they told me not to press the shiny red candy like button. I didn't listen.
Well, we never do when they tell us not to do it. We fucking do
Right?
it just to find out why they told us not to do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Doing good, Lynn. We're doing good. Hope you're doing
Yeah.
well.
But yeah, I think it just well, right, Amora, definitely. Total respect. That's why, like, I'm going to bring up with talking about orbs and stuff. If you had a personal experience with an orb, I'm not debunking that at all. I mean, it's a personal experience. Always, don't let anybody debunk your personal experiences. I
Right,
mean,
right. When it comes to an orb, I'm not going to say you didn't see one, but I'm going to do everything I can to prove it was either a speck of dust, a bug, light reflection,
right. You
a
have to check
water
it out.
droplet. What's up, Mr. Minkster? Briella
Mr.
says
Mink.
hi.
Hello, my baby Briella, my baby.
Yeah, Grandma will be home in 2 weeks and a day.
That's right. That's right. My baby.
I'll be a little bit behind her, but I'll be coming.
That's right. Later on. Later on.
After the
Oh
last
no,
ice
what did
age,
Andy
saw the
say? I
seas
just
worldwide rise by almost 400 feet. Exactly, Andy. I mean, if there wasn't such a flood, and now this is going, I guess, back a little bit into late biblical times, but as they were tracking Noah's Ark, if there wasn't such things as floods, and people are trying to debunk, how did this boat wind up almost in the top of the mountains?
if that's Noah's Ark. You can't say that.
They're
Nobody.
treating it like it is. I can say it.
Well, you can say it. Yes, you can. You can say anything you
I'm
want to
not
say,
saying
obviously.
I'm not saying I have proof for it, but they're really trying to take care and preserve that area.
Right, right. But yeah, I mean, it it definitely I would love to check it out, definitely. But I think from reading what I read, to me, it's just a residual. It's just life going on there. It's, the imprints. That's my take on it, my
Sophie says
opinion.
Briella has a beautiful name.
Yes, she does. Thank
Well,
you for that. Yeah.
but like with the Grand Canyon and a few other places, there's evidence of a flood. Now, that's where you're wrong, Lady Blind Wolf, because actually the Grand Canyon was only caused by a small river. That wasn't caused by a flood.
What was it, whittling down?
Yeah, that one crevice of water is what created all that.
I don't know. I've never really studied. We in Western New York, even though right now I'm in Alaska, but in Western New York we have the Grand Canyon of the East.
We do?
Letchworth State Park.
Oh, yeah.
That's seriously, that's what they call it, the Grand Canyon of the East. It's not as big as the Grand Canyon, obviously, but
Ryan says, I wonder if Noah actually stowed any cryptids aboard the Ark of his. Seems like the nice guy thing to do.
right? Exactly. He brought two of everything, so there's got to be some cryptids in there somewhere. He had two of the Dogmen, two of Bigfoot,
Thank you, Andy.
two of Mothman.
Do we have to have two of everything? I mean, them guys, some of them are scary. Can't we just have one?
No, you need two. Hey, redheaded stepchild, how are you, hon?
What's up,
How you
Matt?
been? That's right, we're sexy beasts.
Let's do this.
Oh, thank you, Lynn.
Good interview on the chest.
I hope good things. She's like, Missy, great interview on the Chad Smith podcast. I learned about a lot about you. Thank you so much, sweetie. You're so sweet.
No, it's not. It's not translated to umbrella cheese, freaky.
I wouldn't matter. She makes the cuteness makes up for it if it was.
You ain't lying. Grand Canyon or the Big Sandbox, or is the LA desert? I wouldn't call the Grand Canyon a sandbox. That's more of like a friggin' jagged edge cliff diving, be careful kind of shit.
I'd like to go in the canyons though. Like the underground canyons. I did a lot of research.
You want to ride one of them donkeys down the side of that thing?
No, I'll walk if that way if I fall off it's my own fault. Listen, no donkey has taken my life.
Lady Blind Wolf, I would have to agree with you, unless of course the woman can self fucking
They could be like frogs.
reproduce.
You don't know.
Or a fucking worm.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That would be freaky to think about though.
Why?
Oh, that's okay, Amora. Don't be sorry.
Oh, what's she saying sorry for?
She said, I'm not good at geographics.
Oh no, I'm not even sure. I mean, the Grand Canyon might be the fucking big sandbox. I don't fucking know.
See,
Seahorses.
see Ryan right there. He said Grand Canyon is an awesome place. I've been there numerous times, but screw them donkey rides. Yeah, exactly.
And Palmer, new
Hey,
subscriber.
Ann. Thank you so much for subscribing, hon. Thank you. How you doing?
Very
Hope
much
all is
appreciated.
well. Seahorses? Yeah, seahorses are backwards. The guy gives birth, but I feel bad, man. You see how many babies they birth?
But you see how tiny they are?
I know. But
It's,
still, that's a lot of freaking babies to birth.
it's like they're shitting dandruff. Just saying.
Like, what did you say? They're shitting dandruff? Is that what you said?
I said it looks like they're shitting dandruff.
Oh my god. What
Lynn,
did Andy say? I saw my name.
I'm confused. Lynn says 333.
Let's see, just take a parachute down. Yeah. Just
So
don't get
big.
the chute pack and rucksack confused. I know I would too. You know how I am. Come on now.
Matt says,
Oh, thank you, Terry. You guys are awesome. I thank you coming over and supporting me. I was nervous. I don't like talking about myself, so
Ryan says, so Bigfoot might be a hermaphrodite. Oh, good
you
for
never.
him. He can be frigid and impotent all at once.
Oh my god! Hey, Spitfire.
What's up, Spitfire?
You guys are too funny.
There are certain areas in the states geographically that are literally paranormal hot. So there's a lot of them in the lower 48, actually.
Yeah. But what I like though is here we have it's weird because right? Because here we have paranormal activity, right? We have cryptids and all that. And then UK, you guys have your legends and lore, which I freaking find. Is it like it is like I'm fascinated with your guys's like odd and weirdness, right? Not that you guys are odd and weird. Don't think I'm saying that.
You should hear
Except
the shit
Andy.
she says when she ain't on screen. Trust me.
Not Andy Gambino. I'm talking about Andy K.
Oh,
He's weird.
Lynn's
Not.
saying it was 3:33 there. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Um, but like, are you guys as fascinated as with our paranormal activity than we are with your legends and lore?
Basically, what she's saying is, you guys are more fascinated with the American side of the paranormal than you are with your folks in lores. Like, we are more fascinated with your folks in lores than we are with our own paranormal.
Right. Well, at least I am. Terry said when I was about 12, I got talked into riding one of those damn burros down the Bright Angle Trail into the bottom of the Grand Canyon. But my dumbass brother, it was horrifying. Yeah, I don't know how anybody can ride that stuff. Yeah, same, Amora, same. I love hearing foxes. I really do. I love foxes anyway, but frogs, not so much. That's only because I used to live in a place that when it rained, like the whole road was covered with foxes, with frogs.
Yeah, and they
So
jumped around and croaked too.
huh?
The
Yeah, that
foxes
one.
jumped around and croaked.
Yeah, it was just. It's not that I don't like bugs and frogs. It's the fact that except centipedes. This has nothing to do with that. But um, I'm scared of stepping on them. Okay. All right. Good to know, Andy. Andy says, yeah, we're fascinated with all things paranormal here in the UK. We may be more skeptical than the US. Good to know. Really good. I love, see, that's why I love chatting with you guys
I
because
don't know.
I learn things.
I believe I'm a believer of it, but I am a skeptic. And
Yeah.
Shales will tell you,
Yeah. I'm definitely, listen, I might talk about all this stuff, but I'm logical too. I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. It's got to take me a lot to do. I've gone down one, maybe two rabbit holes my entire, like really deep dive into rabbit holes. I'm very logical and very, it takes a lot for me to, it's not something that I just go, oh yeah, it's haunted. I'm not like that. I sit right on that fence, I guess you can say.
Terry says those damn burros walk that narrow trail, never looking where they're walking. And I was already scared of heights to begin with. I I could have killed him. Then after camping overnight, we rode him back up.
And
Going down, I
Lady
could probably
Wangle,
going, huh?
I was just saying, she said, yeah, the UK is a lot older when it comes to having population. There's stuff all over the place there. Yeah.
I get it. But I would rather walk down that mountain, down that path, than walk back up that bitch.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
I'd
Totally.
walk the burrow down, but I'd ride that motherfucker back up.
Right. And you're right. Yes, we do have legends here, mostly from Native Americans. But I'm just talking about like the lore. Like, I don't know. I'm so fascinated with like, I don't know. It's like they have better stories. I mean, Native Americans have awesome stories. You know what I mean? But they just, you know, I've always been fascinated. It's one of my things, I guess. Did I miss Pammy?
Apparently,
Did
I
Pam?
did too. Well, now, apparently, come on. I'm going back. I'm going
Yeah,
back.
Andy. He says I'm a skeptical believer. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of me.
I think I'm more skeptical of evidence, just because everything. There's so many people out there trying to hoax, and so I'm more skeptical of evidence.
I
But
don't
if
see.
you're sitting in front of me, or even I'm reading your story and I feel that, like, that's when I start believing, like truly believing, you know. Hi,
Yes.
Pammy. If I did miss you,
No,
I
she's not
didn't.
here. She's not here.
Okay.
Yes, Freaky Geek. Natives have stories with a touch of wisdom in them. Not a touch of wisdom. There's a whole lot of wisdom in their stories.
Oh, really, Lady Blandwell? She said she's going down a rabbit hole one herself lately. Oh goodness. Those are hard to pull out of, man.
Fucking scary as shit.
Spitfire says, I walk away from rabbit holes if I hear a rabbit saying I'm late in a hurry to get somewhere entering the hole. No, that's when you jump down the hole, damn it. That's
It's it. You chase that son of a bitch. Grab onto its leg and don't let go.
see Lynn's with me. She said, Missy, and Nicole, I'd rather have spiders, snakes, and scorpion all over than centipedes. Yep, centipedes I don't do. I don't. And of course, I'm going back to New York. I get to deal with them again. Hey, when it takes a can of raid to kill something, you don't even know if you killed it. That
Lady Blindwell says a company's trying to build a mall and they find a well full of skeletons.
that's wild. Yeah, that I would hate to be the person that finds that.
You know,
Ryan, you're
Nat,
right.
if I'm hearing
Monster.
true stories from elders being native and that, I'm not going to sit there and try to debunk that because they'll make me look stupid.
Well, as he said, the oral traditions of the First Nations people are kind of religious to me in a way. They are cold, hard facts that to many try to deny or debunk. That is very true. And that's what I try to explain to people up here because, or not explain to people up here about the natives up here. They still live in villages. They still, like, what their elders say, is what goes. And, like on that, I've talked about it before, Alaskan Killer Bigfoot, you truly get to see, like one of the guys said on there, well, when an elder speaks, you move. And that's exactly how it is. And having a friend that has had spiritual contact, like knowing her fear, it doesn't come from I'm just scared of things happening. It comes from the stories that she heard growing up, the different types of spirits and stuff that she has been embedded in her family for years. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can go over there and say, "Hey, it's debunked," and she's like, "No, it's no," because it's still alive in their culture.
Matt tells me I have to get a Wednesday show. Why do I got to get a Wednesday show?
Why does he need a Wednesday show?
it's,
Because that's probably when he's like, "Hey,
it's probably his day off.
yeah, yes, true, Ryan." He said natives are more connected to Earth and the universe more than people could ever hope to be. That is very true. That is very true. All right, on to the next story. So, what I found this story and I thought it was really cool. Of course, it's from Mysterious Universe, and the links down below, as always, as all the links. And I'll have them over on the forum on shadowsofthemoon.net. Um, this one is the time Mark Twain wrote a new novel from Beyond the Grave. Now, what's interesting, sorry, there's somebody up above my room. What's interesting is it's about a story what we've heard before. We talked about here on the show before.
Yes, a
And I know
long
most of
time
you
ago.
will recognize the names once I start telling the story. Hello, Southern Renegade Paranormal TV. How are you? Welcome.
What's up,
Welcome,
Southern?
welcome.
That's the other Ed.
That's what?
The other Ed that we were talking about earlier when I was in his show yesterday.
Oh, okay, okay.
The one Lady Blindwolf was talking about. That's
Yeah,
him.
all right. It
That's
all
him.
makes sense now.
There's like a cold case show in England was at one point. Apparently, the well was full of a Jewish family that had been slaughtered in England.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no wonder you're in that, divulged in that. That's, yeah, see. All right, are you ready?
You're the one with the fucking stories.
Says the sad thing about death and geniuses is that their mark on the world ends with tossing of their mortal coils. But what if that weren't the case? The writer, humorist, entrepreneur, publisher, and lecturer Samuel Longhorn Clemens, more popularly known as Mark Twain, is without a doubt one of the greatest American authors of all time.
Hold on
Often
before you go
called,
on and I lose this because this is kind of funny. This is from Ryan Monster Radio. He says
Mhm.
Mark Twain writes a novel from beyond the grave. Meanwhile, I can't even be bothered to go check my mail.
Right, right. See, that's why they are who they are, and we are who we are.
I just didn't want that one to get away and I wouldn't be able to find it again because that was kind of funny.
Right? It says, often called the father of American literature, he is the most famous for his works as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. His books have been beloved around the world, translated into many languages, and even people who don't know anything about literature all know the name Mark Twain.
Hey,
When
Blue.
Twain died, huh?
I said, hi, Blue.
Oh, hello, Blue. When Mark Twain died in 1910, the public and the literary world mourned the loss of a great mind. Yet it doesn't seem as death stopped him. Okay?
Oh shit! Your dad died only 4 years after fucking Mark, or your dad was born 4 years after Mark Twain died. Jesus
Yeah.
God, holy, that really puts it into fucking perspective.
Right? Doesn't it?
God damn.
Yeah, my dad would be over 100 years old right now. So, the story here begins with a self proclaimed psychic medium by the name of Emily Grant Hutchings. And while this may have some people rolling their eyes already, she is not immediately identifiable as,
Identifiable.
yeah, thank you, as sort of a quack or charlatan. Hutchins was born Emily Schmidt in Hannibal, Missouri, to a prominent family, her father being Carl H. Schmidt, an official of the Hannibal and St. Joseph Railroad Company, and her mother, Margaret, the daughter of a German noble family and holding the reputation of being one of the first female physicians in the Mississippi Valley. She went through school with flying colors, going on to teach Latin, Greek, and German at a high school before becoming an esteemed writer for such publications for the St. Louis Republic newspaper. That's right, it was a missyism. Um, and Cosmopolitan, Country Life, Current Magazine, The Open Court, and Atlantic Monthly magazines, also writing extensively to promote the World's Fair in St. Louis and several novels. She even met Mark Twain himself briefly in 1902 while attending a luncheon with her husband, Charles Edward Hutchings, and received some minor correspondence with him in which he advised her on her writing. So far, there is nothing particularly strange about it all, right? With Hutchins seeming to be intelligent, successful, and a sane woman, but her life would get very weird. Thank you, Tarax Pam Smith, for subscribing to the channel. I really greatly appreciate that.
This time it didn't pop up on your screen like it normally does. That's why
I
I
know that I'm gonna have to go through and just get rid of all the links and then put them all back so it'll work again.
yeah, because this time I didn't know somebody subbed
Yeah.
or subscribed, whatever, to whatever
So
channel.
here we go. You ready? This is where you're gonna recognize the story. At the time, the spiritualist movement was still going strong in America, with seances and communicating with the spirits of the dead was very popular. Hutchins got caught up in it all when she and a medium named Pearl Leonard Pollard began receiving communication via Ouija board from a spirit calling herself Patience Worth. Do you remember that now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is who we're talking about. Thank you, Southern Renegade Paranormal TV, for coming in. We greatly appreciate that. You have a great day as well.
Take care, Ed.
So,
The hell was that?
I can't see it. I can't pull it up
Terex
quick
Pam
enough.
Terex Pam Smith has
Oh,
subscribed.
it worked. It just took forever to. Thank you so much. We
Very much
appreciate that.
appreciated.
It just took forever.
I thought
Um,
I thought maybe you had another new one. I'm like, damn.
so Patience Worth, there's a whole story about her on one of the, I think, Paranormal Monday Musings that we talked about. Um, it's very interesting. Very interesting. So in 1915, Hutchins was carrying out one of the Ouija board sessions with Patient Worth when it was rudely interrupted by a spirit claiming to be Mark Twain,
Bastard.
who called Hutchins the Hannibal Girl. Hutchins became completely enthralled with the idea that Twain had communicated with her from beyond the grave and convinced that what she experienced was real. Wishing to keep up with the spiritual correspondence, she took to using the Ouija board to try and contact him again, and it was seen to be successful.
Thank you, Amor, for coming in, hon.
Take care, Amora. Thank you so much for being here. So, with the help of a spirit medium named Lola Hayes, Hutchins would claim that she would not only strike up a conversation with the very dead Mark Twain, but that he had requested that she transcribe a new novel for him, which she accepted. Why not? She had done it with patience, right?
True.
So, over the next 2 years, Hutchins and Hayes would claim that they had used the Ouija board to. Can you imagine that? Holy crap, using a Ouija board to write a novel?
To write a book.
That's crazy. That's a lot of freaking writing and wow. So, they would take down Twain's every word and eventually completing two short stories and a novel titled Jap Heron, which they would go ahead and publish in 1917 through the renowned book dealer Mitchell Kennerly. The book quickly shot to fame when the New York Times ran a review of it
Way to
and
go,
considered
Andy.
the what?
Well, because I had hid somebody and Andy wasn't paying attention and he unhid him. Hi,
So the
Christina.
Hey Christina, and considering the popularity of spiritualism and Ouija boards of all time, a lot of people really believed that this was a new book from the dead Mark Twain, and that Hutchins and Hayes were telling the truth, despite the fact that the review was less than flattering. Indeed, while many were eating this stuff up, many reviews and literary critics were not so convinced. Beside the fact that they were dealing with a novel supposedly written by the ghost through an Ouija board, there was also the fact that the book itself just didn't feel like a Twain novel. While there was some superficial stylistic resemblance, Jeff Heron largely lacked the intelligence, wit, and trademark writing style the author had. The story's structure didn't feel right, and the characters were unlike anything one would expect to populate any world thought up by Twain. In short, it was seen as a not particularly well written piece by someone doing a bad imitation of Twain. Many reviews brutally drubbed the book. Here's one of them. It says, there is evident a rather striking knowledge of the conditions of life and particularities of the character in a Missouri town. The dialect is true, and the picture has, in general, many features that will seem familiar to those who know their Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. A company paper fills an important place in the tale, and there is a constant proof of familiarity with the life and work of the editor, such a sheet. The humor, remember, this is back in the 1900s, so, you know. The humor impresses as a feeble attempt to imitation, and while there is now and then a strong, sure touch of pathos, or a swift and true revelation of human nature. The sob stuff that oozes through many of the scenes and the overdrawn emotions are much for cruelty. If this is the best that Mark Twain can do by reaching across the barrier, the army of admirers that his works have won him with all hope that he will hereafter respect that boundary. Wow. So he basically said that if this is the best that Mark Twain can do between the veil, then stay behind the veil. Messed up, right? So it goes on, where it talks about them, uh, about the writings and everything. But apparently, he had even started to write another through them titled Brent Roberts. Hutchings would further claim that she had never even read Mark Twain before, which seems unlikely considering that she was so well educated and a writer herself. That is a weird prospect about that because she was so intelligent and did read books all the time. I If she met him, she obviously knew who he was. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to
Um,
find Matt's number or Matt's screens. Somebody was just asking for the link, and I'm trying to
oh,
find it. Oh, he already did it.
okay. So, psychologist and psychiatrical researcher James Hyslop of the Society for Psychiatrical Research would investigate the claims and come away on the fence about whether the two women were telling the truth or not. As all of this was going on, Twain's daughter, Clara Clemens, stepped in to make matters more complicated by filing a lawsuit in the Supreme Court against Hutchings and her publisher, Mitchell Kennerly, in order to stop them from making any money off of her father's name, demanding that all publications of the book immediately be stopped and copies destroyed. Clemens and her lawyers tried to tact of demanding that the two mediums either admit that the book was a fraud or donate any proceeds for it to the Mark Twain estate and and the publisher Harper and Brothers, who at the time had sole rights to the publications of Mark Twain's stories. Interesting, huh? So even after all of this, Hutchins would insist that she was telling the truth right up until her death in 1960, never backing down from her claims. So what do you guys make of all this? Now we most of you have heard the story of Patience Worth and how everything got started with Emily.
And there was proof of that, though, too.
Right,
So how can you not think that it's possible that Mark Twain went through her to write another novel?
right. But what
I
do you
mean,
think about the daughter? Do you think that it should be, if that is the truth, and Mark Twain did come through her, right? Do you think, or come through the Ouija board anyway? Do you think that the proceeds should go to his stuff?
family, you talk about royalties and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I really think it should. I mean, them ain't her words,
right,
and she'll tell you they're not her words.
right, right. They used a real ghostwriter, Terry.
Yeah, they did. No, I did not like that fucking Yahoo Messenger where you sent that buzz, and that's what you could hear from fucking 3 rooms.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We used to use it a lot with the
No,
Lou.
I don't. I don't think it should go with the one that penned the story, Andy. None of that was her words. She'll tell you. I had nothing to do with it, really.
True, Freaky. Well, that's what they said. Because Freaky said, well, if his family thought it was his work, then that itself should have been proof that he wrote from beyond the grave, right? Well, that's what the daughter said. She's like, either tell me it's fake, or if it's his words, it should go to the family. And he says,
You're
but she brought the story to life. She put the work in.
you're
I mean,
right.
that's
She
a lot.
did.
Think about that. Having I get bored with a Ouija board because I'm just like
Okay,
I'm
but
just
then look at it this
I'm
way.
not patient.
Look at the one that wrote Harry Potter. Okay,
Right.
if it wasn't for her throwing that transcript in the fucking garbage, another person wouldn't have found it and been like, "Wait a minute, this is fucking really good." So does
Yeah,
the
but it's
woman that
still her words.
does
It was still
what I'm
J.K.
saying
Rowling's
though is
words.
does the woman that found it and turned it in that made her rich get any royalties? Absolutely not. It's not
Well, you
her
don't know, maybe.
words. It's not her words. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If
I
this
get what you're
person,
saying.
yeah, if this person wouldn't have found that and turned it in, JJ wouldn't be as rich as she is right now. But yet, the woman that turned it in, them ain't her words. She ain't getting no royalties off of it. I'm pretty damn sure she got broke off a good chunk of money from her saying, "Hey, thank you." You know what I mean?
But I don't I I see what Andy is saying about because or I almost said patient worth. Emily did the work.
What work? Just listen to her mind?
No, she had the Ouija board and had to write that shit down. Letter for letter.
So you're sitting on your ass. How hard of work is that?
Oh my god. Have you not played a Ouija board?
Yes, I have. Many, many
No, he
years
won't
ago.
let me get one. He won't let me get a freaking Ouija board anymore. He won't let me make a devil's toy box. He won't go to
uh,
no.
Matt, the writer of Harry Potter is actually a female. She went from rags to riches, and yes, she actually threw out the transcript. Another person had spotted it, and is the one that turned it in. Yeah, it was it was pretty insane how she went from rags to riches, and now they had 7 movies and shit. And it was just like, wow.
Did you see what Andy wrote? I'm with Andy. I get it. I think it should go half and half.
I still don't see why you should get royalties for it. I mean, maybe a chunk off the initial sale.
But because it's under his name, the royalties should mostly go to him or his family. I don't know. Interesting though. I saw that, like I said, I saw that and saw that it was Emily from Patient's Worth Story, and I was like, interesting.
That's fine, Lynn. It's just a toy box for the devil.
It's a box full of mirrors, basically. There's a stipulation with mirrors and spirits and stuff like that, and it's supposed to contain like it's a devil's toy box. It's supposed to be able to kind of like the
Track the soul.
yeah.
Just
I
saying.
just want to test it out, but he won't let me make one. He's no fun anymore. He's getting raggedy in his old age.
Fuck you. Miss, I'm only fucking 3 years behind you.
What can I say? So the next story, which I found this is very interesting. Well, sorry. See, I get yelled at again. Another moderator has
I
handled
didn't do anything.
it.
Well, why is Matt's fucking message? Why was Matt's message hid?
Because he wrote fucked.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know.
No, Red, it wasn't that she was fucked up in the head. She was in a bad spot. She was homeless. She was fighting to survive. She had kids.
Yeah, Andy.
It's in the box made of black mirrors.
No, wait till I get my own place because I'm not gonna. I'm respectful enough. I wouldn't bring that into Ryan's house.
Yeah, but she'll bring it in my fucking house. I'm telling you, I get to New York and there's a fucking Devil's Toy box there. Andy, I'm going to do it live on screen. You're going to watch me smash this motherfucker.
Then you give 7 years, more than 7 years, bad luck.
Hey, when have I had good luck?
That's very cool, Lady Blind Wolf.
I got to go potty.
That's right, Red. Give him hell. Where's my freedom of speech? All right, go ahead. No, I can't do it in the garage because that's why Ryan is moving because he wants a bigger garage. Remember, Mr. Minkster there is a car freak. He likes flipping cars. It's his side business. So yeah, the garage is out of. He'd be like, "Oh hell no." So this next story is pretty wicked. It's a synopsis of it. Not a synopsis. It's more than a synopsis, but I have the link down in the bottom if you want to check out the book. But definitely, his hot rod outgrew the garage. What? Sure, sure. So in 1878, a small town in Illinois gained notoriety around the country as a home to one of the strangest spirit possessions in American history. The story of what came to be known as the Wazika Wonder created a mystery that endures to this day. But what really happened in the enigmatic case and how much of the mysterious story that has been told over the years about the spirit of one dead girl invading the body of a living one is truth and how much is fiction. Author Troy Taylor has spent years delving into the fact behind the chilling story, searching through dusty records, wandering through old graveyards, and visiting the sites associated with the case. This is eye-opening and sometimes terrifying. So, can the dead return, and can they inhabit the bodies of the living? The story of the Wazika Wonder began officially in 1877 when a young Illinois woman named Lawrence Venom began to suffer strange seizures and spells that caused her to lose consciousness for hours and even days at a time. During these trances, she claimed to communicate with the spirit world. After being examined by a number of doctors, it is suggested that she be sent away to an insane asylum. Because, of course, that's what they did back then. There is nothing physically wrong with her, they said, so her symptoms could only be caused by insanity. Before she could be locked away, her family received a visitor, a man named Asa Roth, whose daughter, Mary, suffered from the same illness more than a decade before. Mary's life had been a chaotic one. Her spells and trances had started when she was an infant, and no doctor could ever find a reason for them. As she grew older, they allowed her to manifest clairvoyant abilities and speak to spirits, or so she believed. Her family and doctors weren't convinced, and so Mary was sent to asylum where she died in July of 1865. By the winter of 1878, Asa Roth had become a devout follower of spiritualism and believed that Mary had not been insane, that she had been gifted, but misunderstood, like most spirit mediums. He begged that the Venom family not send Lawrencey away. He believed that a spiritualist position could alleviate her symptoms and save her from Mary Roth's grim fate. The Venoms agreed to try it, and during a visit from Dr. E. Winchester Stevens, no relation, Lawrencey entered a trance and became possessed by the spirit of a dead young woman who professed to be able to help her. When she regained consciousness, she seemed different, unlike her former self. When Dr. Stevens asked her to identify herself, she replied, "My name is Mary, Mary Roth." "Hello, my bug. How you doing, Danielle?" Soon, it becomes obvious to the Roth and the Venom families, as well as scores of local townspeople, neighbors, friends, relatives, and more, that Lawrencey had somehow become a woman who died more than a dozen years earlier. She recognizes people that Mary knew, identified things that belonged to the dead girl, and knows intimate family secrets that there was other way Lawrencey could have known. It seemed impossible, but it was happening. For the next 5 months, Lawrencey lived as Mary Roth in the Roth family home, possessed by her spirit. There was no logical explanation for how this could be happening, and yet it was. Lawrencey, who Dr. Stevens would dub the Wazika Wonder, became the best documented paranormal event in American history. And I totally missed what that. Oh, there's. Thank you, Andy, for the coffees. I appreciate that. Okay, Danielle, be good. Have a good day at school. Well, it's almost over now, but yeah, I'll be on later, honey. Sorry, guys. If you don't know, Danielle's my daughter. Mr. Minkster is my son. They pop in from time to time and give me hell. So, oh, it is over. Okay. I didn't have a second to count 4 hours, so For the next 5 months, like I said, Lawrencey lived as Mary Roth, and the Roth possessed by her spirit. Uh, Author Troy Taylor, long fascinated with the story, presented the full-length account of the story since Dr. Stevens' own book, which was released in 1879, using archives, letters, and first-hand accounts from the era. And all I can say is this: can you imagine to sit there and your my mind's going, okay, because like all of us, because of The Exorcist, when people get possessed, it's always the devil, right? That's what
Hi,
they say.
bug. Bye,
Or
bug.
a or a demon, right? But what if this is like this really happened, and like it was a person coming through. So she was basically like a medium, but that person stayed there.
What do you mean?
Well, because I don't know how far you were here for the story or whatnot.
I don't know. I had to go potty.
So apparently you missed the whole thing. But anyway, there was a girl, Lurency, right? Um, who would basically had seizures. and who basically what found out that was like a spiritual medium. When she was having these seizures and was gone, the spirit would come in. Well, the spirit was of Mary, who lived in 10 years earlier, but had the same thing happen to her, only was put into a sane asylum where she died. So when this started happening, Mary's father heard about it and went there and begged him not to put her in an insane asylum. So Mary's ghost possessed Laurency to where enough to where she told him like family secrets that there's no way in hell that this family would have known. You know, recognized people that was Mary's friends, not hers. Do you know what I mean? You
Right.
get the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
So, do we look at possession in a different way? Because today, if anybody gets possessed, it's always evil, right?
Well, of
What if
course.
it's not? Not saying to go out and get possessed, but what if it's not? We only, maybe the thing of it is we only hear about
Fucking
the
Terry.
bad ones.
Terry Sarah Lee can be a bad one. And Lynn, just to give you a heads up, Danielle, Bug, Shadow's daughter, her channel, she is a cosplay designer.
Yes. Yeah, she has no content yet, but she will. She's on TikTok.
She designs her own cosplay. She does a hell of a job at it.
So what do you guys think? Like, does this, I don't know, I have to think about this now because my brain's going. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, maybe we just hear about the bad ones, right?
And that's all it is, because the good ones don't produce imagination. It doesn't give you the thrill of the danger. It doesn't, you know what I mean?
Well, it does when you get exercise.
No, I mean that's why they're not showing the good ones. It doesn't give you that thrill of the
Oh,
story.
yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Andy says, I want to believe all things paranormal, but I find possessions hard to believe. Definitely. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Anna. Now
But
possessions
you,
are real. I truly believe that they are real.
I can believe you can be taken over. Lynn, I'm not sure what her TikTok is. I have no clue.
She's already apparently Lynn's already subscribed to
Oh,
her.
I've been, Spit says I've been possessed by McDonald's.
Yeah, well, Taco Bell got my ass.
I can't say either way. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just,
And I believe Terry too. Terry says, I guess if someone was empathic enough, possession could be easy.
like, I think about my dizzy spells and like when I had my out of body experience and someone told me, and I blocked it, and it's still blocked. Um, I'm sure if I really worked on it, I could get back there. But I blocked it out because somebody scared me and said, "Oh, that's if you get feeling like you're getting pulled down like in an elevator that somebody's trying to get in your body." Maybe, but doesn't. But because I still hold that fear of because The Exorcist, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. I know I have that fear deep inside. That will I allow? Thank you. I can't read the name.
Boredom?
Boredom. Thank you for the follow.
Absolutely. Greatly appreciated.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh, now I know why they why they had Lady Blindwolf's etched out. You had to allow it because she says my TT is Lady. They were saying,
Terry, no one wants it in my body.
no, they tried to get the hell out.
Yeah, Texas pants. Yeah, it's the same. Same. You can tell that a lot of times I will sleep a lot. That's why I'm not on live. When I'm getting downloads and that, like I just and from being around people and I get Eddie can vouch. he's he's lived it 24/7 of when I'm around, other people that's not good. And plus I work in customer service in a hotel business, so yeah. Oh wow, Anna. Anna says I have stuff getting picked up and dropped right in front of me. My husband finally got to watch two carvings slide across the table onto the floor.
Well, they want to talk about shit getting dropped right in front of them. Remember that time we couldn't find my grill scraper?
Yeah, yeah.
It had been gone. My grills because I'm a cook, and where we live, I used to cook, and I have a certain scraper that fits right inside the grease well enough to where I can just scrape it one time. This thing came up missing one time, and I asked, the owner. I asked if she seen it. She says she hasn't seen it. Now it had been weeks, and then finally I just forgot about it. And I was standing in at the flat top. I was cooking, and the owner walked in through the kitchen doors to go to the back to the dish room. And as she passed, we heard this clunk. And I turned and looked at her because I thought she had dropped something. And she looked at me like she thought I had dropped something. And sure enough, lo and behold, she turns around, looks at the floor, and there's that grill scraper that had been missing for 3 weeks just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. And like our boss, you have to understand because we work for Koreans, and like when it comes to spiritual or anything, yeah, they don't like it. They don't like talking about, but that creeped her out. Yes, that's just it. Yeah, feel a lot of pain. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy.
And
It's
that seems to
crazy.
be the biggest thing that comes up missing is keys.
That's the Fae. They like shiny.
Keys always come up missing.
No, not all people are evil, but it's just, you know.
A weekend link.
That damn chaos. Terry, let me tell you, chaos gets around. All right, next thing we got is understanding the different causes of orbs. Now, like I said in the beginning when I was talking about this, just because I'm doing this article does not mean I don't believe in orbs. I believe in orbs. I don't believe they're all dust and, bugs and stuff like that. But I figured we'd talk about it just to get it out of the way, because I like to explore all topics. Um, but again, if you have a personal experience, don't let anybody let you change your mind about that personal experience. Do you know what I mean? Um, well, Andy, it's funny you say that. He said we haven't had our DNA changed 52 times. I read. The thing with it is the way I look at it. When you listen to binaural beats and all that stuff, I believe it activates junk ID or junk ID, junk DNA. Um, I believe it. That's why we grow with the binary beats. Um, I believe it has something to do. I could be totally wrong and just talking out my ass, but that's what I believe. Um, In my world, that exists. That's why I don't listen to them all the time. But if I want a little, because what'll happen is I listen to binary beats and then I have a download and then I'm tired for like a week and then something spiritually will come back in, like, will pop up and I'll be like, oh, that makes sense in my world. Do you know what I'm saying? So I believe it activates junk ID. Or why do I keep saying junk ID?
I have no idea.
junk junk DNA, or what they consider junk DNA. Uh, Monster Radio says not all people are evil. It's merely a point of view. We need to remember some people are only good as the world allows them to be. That is very true. That is very true.
Everybody's molded from birth on what kind of
We
person they're basically going to grow up to be.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Um, Maybe I'm trying to say Junk FM because that's like one of my new favorite bands, cover bands. So it's like maybe that's where that Junk ID is coming from. I don't
Could
know.
be. Could
I'll have
be.
to write them and say you need to change your name to Junk ID because I'll advertise you all the time if I'm talking about junk DNA.
Welcome back, Freaky Geek.
Welcome back, Freaky Geek. Andy. Oh, that's cool, Terry. Definitely. Okay, so of course, one of my favorite blogs that I like to go to, and of course the link is down in the description, is LLIFS, which is Living Life in Full Spectrum. And she wrote a great article about understanding the different causes of orbs. And I like going to that blog just because we have the same thought process. I don't know if we have the same thought process, but I resonate with a lot of her things, the way she looks at the world and the way she thinks about things. So, since it's hard for me to talk about how I look at things, this is why I do what I do on these. Sometimes I come out and say how I feel or whatnot, obviously, because that's my point of view, I guess. But it's very hard to talk about and explain to people. And Eddie knows how I feel about this, or Chaos. He knows how I am about, it's very hard for me to express. It's like it's hard for me to sit there and put into words everything that's going on in my brain. Does that
I
make
mean,
sense?
yeah, I'm usually the one who has to translate to somebody else what's going on.
Right. So that's why I more so read blogs and stuff like that, because up until, like I said, I've had this channel for 3 years, right? And I definitely, hit a lot of my feelings from a lot of people for many, 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 many years. So it's very hard for me to come outright with it. But this channel has opened me up too, as well. So, and that's exactly why I made my channel, to push myself.
I've opened you up to it. It's only taken me 10 years to do it.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, you did too. I'm not going to say you didn't. I know it seems longer, doesn't it, Freaky Geek? That could be taken two different ways, but I'm going to go with the positive.
Terry
All
says
right. So
the orb they caught on their camera, it appeared after a large flash, like a doorway opened and it came through.
that's what my orbs look like. That's the orbs that I see. Sometimes my orbs are like bright orange, sometimes they're bright white, um sometimes they're cream color, but sometimes they're round, sometimes they're tear shaped. It's very weird. But
Well, like
that's
you
the
seen that white flash, and I seen a
right.
shadow standing over me. I'm like, why are you standing over me? And you weren't even near me.
You freaking blame me. And it was funny because that night, like I said before, I was looking up what the hell's wrong with my eyes. Why do I keep seeing? Because I thought something was wrong with my eyes. And I'm like, why am I seeing bright flashes in my eyes? What's wrong with my eyes? What do I got to go to the doctor for? Because Google MD is great. You know? And just as he said, why are you staying? I'm like, well, you know what? That's not a problem with my eyes.
No, Freaky, it doesn't mean that they were smart. It just means they have more energy than other orbs.
But I do believe that, Terry. I believe that they're portals of some sort.
But it was weird that that night she seen the flash. I was laying on the bed
Yeah.
and she was over at the computer now. That's got to be a good 10, 15 feet away from me. And all of a sudden, I'm just laying there and it was like, you know, it's dark when your eyes are closed, but it gets darker like when something comes over your face. Well, that's
Right.
what it was like. And I was just like, why are you standing over the top of me? And I opened my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I could see a shadow disappear. And she's still sitting at the computer desk looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
But, and it happened immediately after she saw a flash of light out of the corner of her eye.
I wasn't at the computer desk though. I was sitting on the edge of the bed.
I thought you was at the computer desk.
No, because I had the ironing board. I was using that as a computer.
Oh, that's right. We didn't have the desk at the time.
No, we had the desk. I just wanted to watch TV while I worked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So I sat
ironing
there.
boards fucking double up great for laptops as a computer desk at your bed because you know you can adjust the height and shit with them, but you
Yes.
just can't lean on them when you're doing it because the legs
No,
tend to go.
I busted a couple of them.
One time I had coughing spell. I was working on something patted me on the back, and it was just me, the nurse and patient, and they were in front of me. You know that there something patted you on the back. That could have either have been a past doctor saying you're doing a good job, you're doing it the right way. It could be a past family member saying thank you for taking care of this person.
No, they were helping her out because she was in a coughing fit.
Right. But then she got a pat on the back. But the only people there was the nurse and the patient. So that's what I'm saying. If she got patted on the back,
Right.
it could be a doctor saying thank you, you're doing a good job. It could be a past family member saying thank you for looking out for her.
Right. That's a lot of what they're saying is color orbs. I'm glad you guys brought up colored orbs because that's what she gets to in this blog. Okay, you ready?
Yes, an ironing board does work out pretty good, but short periods of use only.
Yeah, yeah, you can't use them forever, that's for sure. They don't like that. So, so she says, I recently saw a survey online where a group was asking its followers to choose from three options of what causes orbs. There were three options to choose from: spirits, dust, or other. Over 50% of the votes were for dust, and this, didn't surprise her, of course. And when someone presents a photo on social media of orbs, the usual response from people is that's just dust. Yes, in a lot of cases, it is fact dust that has caused the orb, but there are natural phenomenon that also causes orbs thanks to your trusty camera. Here's an easy guide to help you distinguish what orbs are.
Your
Well,
camera,
there.
oh, hold on. Your mic and that just broke out really bad. So whatever you just said wasn't heard.
Oh no. Let me make sure everything's working okay. Hold on. Okay, it looks like everything's good. I don't know. Can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah, I mean we can hear you, but you just you did the robot technique there for a minute and then you just went blank and then it came back.
Well, I'm trying to make the show interesting. I like going into robot mode.
Is there really a difference between a ghost and a spirit? No,
Yes, I believe.
not really.
It's how it plays in my mind. Ghosts are just like residual haunting. Spirits are intelligent hauntings. I don't know why, but that's just how my brain works.
I think a ghost is in a spirit or they're the same thing. They're no longer here. I mean, they're here, but they're not physically.
Okay. All right. Long as you guys can hear me. Hopefully you don't hear my stomach though.
Hmm.
Okay. So, dust and moisture orbs. This is the most common explanation for an orb and particularly common on photos that are taken with smartphones. In a nutshell, a dust or moisture orb appears in your photos because the flash has reflected off a particle of dust or moisture. These are common in areas where there are a lot of dirt, old buildings. I mean, when you being an investigator, obviously you're going to know if you go into old abandoned buildings and there's stuff flying everywhere. You know what I mean? You know your environment. I think enough of us are experienced enough to where, like, you know the environment you're going into, whether it's, old and decrepit or a household. Usually, you checking for AC or heating vents. You know, usually it's, you know what you're doing. Um, so you just got to remember to check your environment, right? Especially if you're getting a lot of orbs on your camera. Rain will come up as orbs, as a moisture orb. So, in all
Light
smartphones today,
reflections,
oh, what's that?
light reflections. There's a lot of things that
Yeah,
people think they've seen an orb that actually it's not an orb.
right. So, in all smartphones today, the flash is directly next to the lens. This means the entire area that the lens is shooting is going to be lit up directly by the flash. This is why smartphones tend to pick up a lot of orbs in dusty old buildings. When the flash fires, the area that is lit up usually crosses over with the area the lens is taking a photo of. There, where these two cross over, if there's any dust or moisture particles in the air, the camera cannot properly focus on them more, um, so it appears as an orb. And I'm just putting this out there, just I'm going to show pictures of what bugs can look like on film, what orbs can look like, dust orbs and moisture orbs, just
Oh
to
my
put it out
God, freaky geek! I never thought you'd come up with a pun like that. You never
there.
know; it could have been Roy Orbison.
Leave it to Freaky, I swear. That's why we love him. So when you're shooting with a wide aperture, you are able to focus more on the person or the thing you are shooting, and then the background becomes a bit more blurred. This creates the perception that there is a distance between the background and the subject you are shooting, unless you own a DSLR or your smartphone has an advanced camera setting. You cannot adjust the aperture, which means in most smartphones and digital cameras, it'll automatically shoot with a small aperture. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but because there is no perception of depth, which I have a problem, and maybe that's why I can look at photos and figure it out because I don't have any depth perception.
Nope.
um, because there is no perception of depth, can't look at a photo and tell for sure exactly how far back in the room an orb is. In all likelihood, it is right in front of the camera. The closer in the camera it is, the harder the camera tries to focus, and it makes it into something, which means the larger it will appear in the photo. So it will kind of bring it to the forefront, if that makes sense, even though it's in back. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah.
So that's what it's basically saying. Now let's go ahead and let me pull this up real quick. We will go ahead and look at the different orbs. Wrong button there. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I was trying to do it without putting full screen, but apparently I can't. Okay. Let me put that in full screen. Get the chat off there. So this is different bugs.
I thought we were doing ink blotter tests. I fail.
So these are what different bugs can look like on screen as orbs. Okay, and it's interesting because I've seen orbs like that before. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that all orbs are these or that these are all orbs. Do you know what I mean? Unless I see a centipede, I'm
See, a lot
or
of them you can tell look like mosquitoes or something.
right, right. That's why rods are so interesting. When you catch a rod on screen, you really have to look at it to make sure it's not a bug and that you're not capturing uh your cameras in uh um shutter speed. Make sure your shutter speed's good. Here is some moisture orbs, and I'll that's as far as it's gonna go. That's as far as zoom I can do, guys. Sorry. So some moisture orbs, like the little, like I see these guys a lot with the yellow.
Them look like planets.
I know, right? They kind of do. And then we have your dust orbs. Again, if you see an orb with your own eyes, though, that it's a personal experience, you've seen it, you know it was an orb, definitely don't let anybody change your mind about that. I'm very big on that. If you know you've seen an orb with your own eyes and, or whatnot, definitely, don't run away from that because it's a personal experience. And you know damn well if you've seen it or not. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you can argue with somebody until you're blue in the face, but the worst part, the worst income or outcome that's going to become of that is you're going to start believing maybe I didn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't if you know you've seen it, then don't let anybody try to convince you differently.
Hello, Walt. Welcome.
Walt, how you doing? Hey, Twin passed away at age 7. This little boy. God damn it.
Does it scroll up on you?
Yeah, and it sucks because StreamYard I can't scroll it back. Twin passed away at age of 7 of this little boy I knew in '96. And when the surviving twin got married at the reception, there was a red orb above him most of the time in photos. That was probably the twin hanging out. He was probably going to be the best man.
Like stuff like that, definitely. I mean, you have to be your own judgment, of character of if you're looking at. But I mean, yeah, something like that, definitely. Andy says these ghost hunting TV shows drive me mad when they will get a response to their questions. For instance, one knock for yes, two knocks for yes, but rarely do any additional or relevant questions. I think they do, Andy, but what happens is they get cut for time because there's no answering. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's just, okay, we got one for yes, two for no, we're good to go. I mean, maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I've never shot a ghost hunting show, so I don't know. But I think a lot of it gets cut for time as well. So they gotta, there's a lot of footage that don't get seen. But you're right. I totally get it. I totally get where you're coming from.
Welcome back, Amora.
Welcome back, Amara. But yeah, I like I said, yeah, Lynn, you're so right. Thank God centipedes can't fly. Oh hell, if centipedes could fly, I don't even know where I'd go, but I'd find some. I'd be living underground or something. I don't know. Can you imagine that, honey? If we had flying, oh my God,
I would never see you again.
I would die. Yeah, I would totally die. Totally. But like I said, the orbs I see, I've never taken a picture of them because there's no way. They're too quick. You know what I mean? Um, but the ones I see, yeah, I definitely know are like I said, I didn't at first I did not think that it was anything paranormal. I thought it was something was wrong with my eyes. Great. My headaches are causing because I get migraines. And so it's like my headaches are causing glitches in my eye, or all the stuff you grow up hearing. And um
Well, Pam Smith says at the wedding, I guess the bride got pretty upset because she blamed the photographer for the red orb.
wow. Yeah, exactly, Spit's like it could take hours to get a response or an hour show could become a 24-hour news snooze fest. And the thing of it is we've made it that way. We've made it that way. Drama sells, right? Eerie, creepy sells because that's what people like. They like to be put in that fear mode. So, and you guys know as a regular ghost, if you've investigated, ghost hunted, investigated, whatever, um, it's hours and hours of nothing.
You're right, Gary. We don't have snakes up here, but we have mosquitoes that can carry moose.
That's true. That is true. All right, it looks like we're probably not going to have time for the rest of. Well, I mean, we have time for the rest of this story, but the psychic imprints will because I want to show you this video. It's only a couple of minutes or a couple seconds long, but um so yeah, just be mindful of different orbs, what you capture and stuff like that. Like again, I'm not saying that all orbs are dust or bugs or anything. Just be mindful. I know it's shocking, right, Nicole? We usually finish every story I plan out to do.
I don't
Or were
care.
you talking about the mosquitoes? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what she meant really about. If it's about the mosquitoes, yes, really. That's the God's honest truth. They pick up 50,000 pound fucking Connexes and move them for us.
They do not. They look like they can.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Thank
You
God
look,
they really don't come around here. We get to no-see-ums. Those things are a pain in the ass.
you got to
That's
come
why
out.
on the hottest day, you're out there fishing in freaking long johns because you don't want to get bit by the no-see-ums.
Yeah, seriously. It'd be 80 fucking degrees out. You got fucking 4 layers of clothes on because you're down by the water and you're fishing. And these bitches still fucking somehow find a way to bite you.
Like you, yeah, exactly. Oh, the big bugs. Okay. I thought you were shocked that we weren't going to get through our stories.
Yeah, I was like, that's a surprise. How?
But that's what I love, though. That's why I try to get as many stories as I can, but I love having these conversation with you guys, because that's why I do this. I want to pick your brains. I want to know what you guys think.
Frogs
You know.
around here, Amora. I haven't seen a frog in 5 years. Uh,
Yeah.
Spiders, yes, we have them. Birds,
I
we have, especially come summertime, we get birds in. I like to call them little mini racers. Them little fuckers only about that
Oh
long,
yeah.
but
They're
they
cool as
zoom.
hell.
I mean, they zoom through the air like they fucking in NASCAR or something.
Yeah, and they're fun to watch because you're like, and they're not scared of eagles.
Nope, they will attack an eagle,
Yep.
and they're only as big as an eagle's leg for Christ's sakes, if they're that lucky.
Yeah. See, no, you should go to Belize. They have flying beetles the size of drain covers. Screw that shit.
Well, same
I
with
don't.
Florida.
I've dealt with
Palmetto
palmetto
bugs.
bugs.
Yep.
Palmetto bugs are not fun either. They're freaking. That's why I'll never go to Florida again in my life. I had one of them palmetto bugs, which is a flying cockroach, on my leg. Never again. I think I scared the poor guy in the next car over, and so be it. He thought I was gonna jump into his car. My sister, on the other hand, found it hilarious.
T-Rex says lake mosquitoes are the worst. Well, what makes it even worse than that is we fish right down the road from a hatchery.
Yeah, a fish
So
hatchery. Yeah,
there's a lot of dead fish that float around. A lot of bears,
a lot
a
of
lot of
zombie
fucking
fish.
bird. Yeah, a lot of zombie fish. And for people that don't understand what a zombie fish is, you can just reach down into the water and grab it and pick it up,
It's like,
and
okay,
it ain't even gonna fight you. It's just like whatever. I'm dying in 20 minutes anyways.
riding the nope train on any bug bigger than my thumb. That's the way to go. I think the most weird thing that I never thought would be up here, and I don't know why, I just think that they're more heat dwellers, I guess, than cold, was porcupines. That still
That still blows my
weirds me
mind.
out. Not weirds me out, but just like it's like
It's out of its
porcupine.
element. It's out of its
Yeah,
element. I mean, bobcats, lynx, foxes, wolves, bears, deer, caribou, moose, all that. Yeah, that's normal. But a
yeah.
fucking porcupine?
I just never, for some reason, would think that it would porcupines in Alaska.
Oh, yes, Anna. We can get some really. I caught a really good sized salmon 3 years ago.
Yeah,
It weighed almost 15 pounds.
that's why everybody waits for the silvers to come in, the silver
Yeah.
salmon.
Yeah, because the pinks, there's
Pinks are
pinks
practice fish.
and there's silver. Pinks are what they use for fucking dog food and shit like that, but people still eat it. But silvers is what everybody tries to catch.
That's right, Amora. She said, well, I was compared with a ladybug as a child, so not all bugs are itchy. LOL.
I think she means icky.
Oh, icky. Yeah, that could be. Itchy, icky,
Same thing.
We
I'll
don't think
say
you're itchy or icky.
here's the funny part now. We've gone out every year except for last year because of the shit going around that we can't talk about. But we didn't get to go out last year. But every year prior to that, when
No, we went
fishing
out
season,
last year because we went out with the kids. We
well,
didn't.
I
We didn't.
mean, we didn't go out like we normally
We
do.
normally do. Yeah.
It was damn near every day, 8 hours a day, 9 hours, and we'd be out there fishing. But when fishing season first opens here, it's always the pinks that they're releasing out into the wild and this and that. And if we go out fishing when the pinks are released, it's just because we're practicing. Because when you get a pink hooked, it'll fight, but it's nothing compared to when you hook into a silver. When you hook
Yeah.
into a silver, you think you
Fun.
got Moby Dick on the line
Yeah.
because he is not coming in.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Alaskan Triangle and the odd things there? Do you believe there are portals? Yep, absolutely do believe that, Andy.
I do believe that. In a sense, I don't think it is. It's listen, and I've said this before. It's no big secret how I feel about the Alaskan Triangle. Um, I get what they're talking about. I do believe there's some strange shit going on in Alaska. I really do. Most of it, though, is bears, very weird wind gusts, not just gusts. I mean, people don't realize that we get hurricane gale force winds up here. But it's never called a hurricane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
if
we get. When you think about it, we get wind gusts that'll push dumpsters, the big
down the
green
highway.
dumpster down the fucking road. And you
Yeah.
just stand there, you'll be outside smoking a cigarette and look up and go, oh, there goes another dumpster. And
Yep.
just watch it go down the road. Like it's no big deal.
That's when our bulletin board goes up going, Hey, did anybody lose this? Or did anybody
What's up,
lose
G
that
Smoke?
in my front yard? Hey, G
Oh
Smoke.
yeah, we have a website, and it's like, hey, somebody lose a trampoline, it's in my yard. You know,
Yeah,
and shit will blow 5 6 miles away and wind up in somebody else's property. But we have a website here in this town that everybody gets in communication, and like, did you lose this? Did you lose that? Who lost this? It's in my yard. Come get it.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, because it takes a lot of skill to fly planes here. It really does. Like, and most of Jesus, I hope you guys didn't hear that. My stomach's rumbling.
I heard it.
Um, uh-huh.
I heard it.
Oh, great. Sorry guys. I apologize if you heard that. But it just wouldn't stop. But no, the wind gusts here. I mean, you usually like if you're not a bush pilot and you're not used to flying, definitely where I mean, now don't get me wrong, like what is it, the flight 330 that
Wasn't it
disappeared and then the
347? Wasn't it?
something like that. Now that is definitely I mean, there's something going on here, definitely. Um the Dark Pyramid, I think that has something to do with it. I have a whole theory of why things happen and why what they're going through. We'll get into that another time. But um
Well, we're going over everything right now,
thank you for
anyways.
the lemons.
Thank you, Nicole. Like
Thank you, Nicole, for the lemons.
Pam Smith says, she heard catching them is like almost catching a tuna. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much the same kind of fight. Um, a 5 pound silver, you will think you're trying to haul in 35, 40 pounds. And then Amora says, what the hell did Amora say? Where'd it go? I don't know where the hell it went. Some bitch. Amora, I lost what you said. I'm sorry. Oh, wait.
Are you afraid of
Oh,
the ice melting? Is that
yeah.
what? When you
And
live
when you
so
live
close
so
to
close
ice?
to big ice glaciers, or my geographic out again. No,
Nope, you're good.
your geographic ain't out. We got glaciers and that all around us.
Not
Um,
only that, we have ice quakes,
yep.
not just earthquakes. We have ice quakes. Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. I for some reason I don't know. As my okay, let me put it to you this way, and excuse my bad because I didn't even make it this morning. But I'm gonna try. Let me go ahead and put my camera up. I'm gonna try and move my camera so you guys can see out my window. Hopefully, it's not too bright. I'm on the ground floor. Okay,
Well, actually, you're below ground.
kind of, but my window's above ground.
Your window level right there is at ground level. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty
But you
bright.
see,
That
you
lump
can't
right
really,
there, but that big
huh?
lump right there, you can see the fucking snow right there. How it's
Okay,
lumped up above. Now, mind you, where her window seal is right there, where you're starting to see the snow, that wall goes down 4 feet below ground level.
yeah.
But other than that, it's too bright. I mean, if it wasn't so bright, you guys would shit to see the amount of snow we have out there in
I
piles.
know. I'm trying to. There's nothing I can do to.
No, that sun's just too bright, sliding in, shining in through there. Oh, Andy, that ain't deep. That's nothing.
No.
I mean, our oh, I'm not getting up.
Wake up.
Our biggest recorded snowfall here was 956 inches,
Yeah.
and that was one winter.
Yeah. So I mean, loud booms shake the area. Sometimes. Well, I mean, it depends what they're doing. Like when they were putting in the new harbor, um, they TNT the
Oh
ground.
yeah, when they were dynamiting the rock.
They dynamite ice glaciers as well to get so we don't have ice slides and mudslides and all that.
Yep.
They have to. I mean, they're really good about. Hey, Lisa, how you doing, hon? They're
Hi,
really good
Lisa.
about what?
I said, hi, Lisa.
Oh, um, they're really good about taking care of. Like I said, when we had the major earthquake, the 7.2. What was it? 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Uh, our roads were demolished, and the DOT took
Well,
care of it
just so
within
they
72
understand
hours.
about the roads being demolished, so they understand where we live, there's only one road in and one road out of here. Now,
Yeah,
when we leave here, you can either turn and go towards Fairbanks or you can turn and go towards Anchorage. Anchorage is always the go to from where we are because it's about a
usually,
half
yeah,
hour closer. Now, the highway there, all the on and off ramps to go in and out of this town were destroyed by that earthquake. You couldn't get into the town, you couldn't get out of the town. They were actually trapped. Within 72 hours, the DOT had everything cleaned up, operational, and open in 72 hours. Them roads were completely fixed.
yeah. They're really good. All right, before we go and wrap up the show, let me, I want to get your guys' take on this. Are you ready? A guy reported, oh no, I don't want to record. Hold on. I already am recording, stupid. Um,
Stupid record.
stupid record. Obviously, I got this from Scary Videos, and the link will be in the description. So a guy gets attacked by a ghost, and I want to get your guys' take on this. Let me go ahead and play it. Hopefully, it'll play. Okay, it is playing. Now, the guy's going to come from down here. You'll see it. I
Is that a bad
timestamp.
street light or is that a tree branch moving?
I believe it's vehicles.
No,
Okay,
it's
here comes the guy walking, right? And I believe there's going to be one more guy that comes walking.
so which guy gets attacked? This guy or the next guy?
Nope, the second guy gets attacked.
Oh shit!
Right?
No, but
What
that
do you think?
I don't know because that other guy in front of him turned around like he slowed down and like he was anticipating it, waiting for it to happen. I mean, you can depict the shadow coming in that hit him from the back,
Right.
but that definitely looked like that could have been photoshopped. But it's just weird how the first guy kind of slowed down, like he was waiting for it to happen, so he could turn
Okay.
around and go back to him. You know what I mean?
All right, let me look because I didn't watch him.
Watch how this first guy will slow down as this
Okay.
second guy comes into screen. Okay, now his pace is slowing. See how he's going half steps?
Right.
And it was like he had turned before the guy was even on the ground. He was already turning.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys think? I haven't, I don't see the chat, so.
They're not saying anything yet. Mugger's getting quicker every day. Anna wants to know if you can play it again. Walt says he noticed that too, that the first guy was actually fucking, he kind of slowed down. Oh, a very angry ghost.
Look,
Oh,
stay.
Terry and Al says 72 hours to fix our roads. It took them all weekend just to get our road plowed. Yeah, I'm not convinced either, Annie. Hey, wait a minute. He called me a woman's name yesterday, so now we're even.
You're even? Okay.
How you doing, Austin? Welcome.
Hi, Austin. Welcome, welcome. Shenanigans. Terry says shenanigans.
Amore is right. She says maybe the other guy heard something, but
Yeah,
he
I
was
mean, there's no sound, so it doesn't say.
right. But the hard part is though, is he was already starting to turn when that ghost hit the other guy. He was already starting to turn. Like he knew he had hit a mark. You know what I mean? And now it's
Right,
time for
right.
you to start turning around because it's taking place.
Could be. Well, guys, on that note, it is time to end the show. Again, let me put this out there. If you would like to tell your story, no matter how big or small, head on over to shadowsofthemoon.net. Hit the podcast button. Oh, and I will say the store is up and running now. It's under Get Your Witchy On. That's where it is. But anyway, um, to tell your story, hit the podcast button. And you can either leave a voicemail or write an email to me. And if you want to stay anonymous, that's cool too. We'll put it up on the show, read it on the show. Tomorrow's show, I'm not sure what we're doing if we having a show. It's getting down to the wire.
Got 2 weeks.
Aw, Andy, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed yourself here. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Sorry, I hit the mic.
I like the way Andy worded that.
I know, right? Thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. You really do. And I know you mean the world to Chaos as well.
Everybody does. I mean, that goes without saying.
And of course, if you want to see, read more about these things that we discussed, all the links are in the show notes, or they can be found at shadowsofthemoon.net in the forums. I gotta have a show tomorrow. Okay, I'll wing it. Or we could do something. You want to do some self-help transformation?
Thank you, Amora.
Thank you, Amora, for the ice cream. We appreciate that. Do I know anything about dreams? Somewhat. Somewhat. We can talk about that. I'm open to questions and answers, that sort of stuff. Oh, damn.
That's why he wants you to have a show tomorrow because he's off work.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. You did say that in the beginning. I did see that. All right. We'll do something tomorrow. I promise. I'll set it up right after I upload these to the podcast.
Do not hold your breath, people.
Oh, thank you, Andy. Thank you. Someday. But you know what? The thing of it is, Andy, I have all you guys wonderful people that like and share the stream out. So that helps out a lot. But I don't advertise. I'm so bad at marketing. I really am.
Yes.
I am.
But she's good at spending the money for it.
That's right. That is true. You're telling all my secrets. No, but
I wasn't supposed to say that, was
I? But yeah, I don't advertise the show as much as I really should, but I figure people will find me that need to find me, I guess.
No wonder why you haven't hit 800 subs.
Eddie's like, I put all this money into it, but I don't know.
God damn it.
That's so funny. Okay, I'll have a show tomorrow. I'll set it up, like I said, after I upload this show to the podcast. I thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. I really do.
Lynn wants to pick your brain about dreams.
Okay, we can do that. Shh, Andy, we don't talk about that.
40 foot containers to transport all.
Podcasters can't hear you.
They got to, Andy, they got to make a run and all come back.
Great, Andy. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm glad you had a fun time. We try to have fun, but yeah, be serious as well.
All right, can I say my goodbyes? Because I got to pee again. I took my pee.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I just want to say, guys, fist bumps, ladies, hugs. Everybody stay strong. We'll beat this. We will. Love you guys all very much, and I'm going to step off for a second.
All right. All right, guys, with that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, night, morning, evening, whatever you're going. time it is there. And tomorrow, like I said, we'll have another free for all. And yeah, we'll talk about everything and anything, I guess. All right, guys. With that being said, hopefully you have the great rest of the day. Take care, be safe, and remember, find something today that makes you smile with your eyes. Love you guys. Oh, he's not here for the kiss. Oh well. Love you guys. Take care, be safe. Mwah.